Thank you very much for joining me. And also thank you for joining me also. What I have is a live webinar and for counseling purposes, people can ask questions and I talk to them. So you guys won't hear them, but the text and everything will be on my other screen here. So we got a couple of questions, and so let's get right into it. I'm going to split it up once I edit it and put it on the channel. So each one of you guys, if the questions that you have. All right, so go ahead and send me. All right, got the first one. It says, I have cheated on my wife. We've been married for over 16 years. Should I tell her or come clean? All right, let me turn my phone down because I know that probably will ring shortly. All right, so the correct answer is one, you shouldn't have cheated, but so let's back up when I say you shouldn't cheat. When you're in a relationship like marriage, the very first thing you want to do is you want to communicate your unhappiness within the relationship. And if you have communicated over and over and your mate has not taken the initiative to change, then before cheating, and this is just how I am, before cheating, I will let her know or give that person the ultimatum. Say, all right, I can't deal with this. Either this is going to have to happen or this is going to be the result of it not happening. And in that case, you'll be better off safe than sorry kind of deal. Is it going to be easy? No, but that's ethically, if you will, the best thing to do. But in saying that, granted, unhappy marriages and people at work, because over 80% of cheating is done with people you already know over a period of time, such as work, it happened. So the question at hand is, should I tell her? The reason the question is even here, understandably so, is the guilt that came up over a period of time. And maybe you were in a downslope of a relationship and now you're coming back up in the relationship. And so you're starting to feel better, but in feeling better about the relationship, guilt is kicked in. And so question, should I tell her? Answer, short answer, no, don't tell her. Then you don't want to take the chance of her finding out later and the relationship and whom you cheated with is over with, and so on and so forth. Do you want to take the chance of just letting it go and possibly her finding out later on? Or do you your guilt is overwhelming that you feel like I just got to express it some kind of way to her? I say no immediately. Yes, the safe answer is no. The reason I'm hesitating now is because when you give your mate this information, you have to think on cause and effect. It's not going to be as easy as releasing your guilt. You're also hurting that other person. And the question is it unnecessary to hurt that other person? And that's what you have to be concerned about. 16 years of marriage is a long time to be with a person and then just cut it off and go through that process of hurting and possibility of divorce. So if you tell your mate that you've been cheating, just expect the consequences behind it. If you don't tell your mate, then of course, understandably so, the guilt is there. But which one is greater? Which one can you deal with more? So hurting your mate and having years and years of untrust, or just dealing with that guilt and stop and never ever do it again kind of deal. if you decide to stop and never do it again, I'm not saying that what's done in the dark cannot happen, but there are cheating is one of those deals that is never a good time to tell someone about. Personally, I go back to what I said earlier. If I dislike something, give them the ultimatum and then let them know cause and effect. And I'd rather just break up with that person and then go to another person. But because of the cheating aspect, I really don't want to give you a straight off answer like I just did, like say no. But I want you to really think about the two options. And that is, can you live without the person? Are you really at that stage in a relationship where you just like, well, forget it, I did it, I don't want her anymore, and whatever, however that looks, and you're willing to break up? Or are you just willing to stop past actions, forgive yourself for what you've done, and then just never do it again and continuously have a decent relationship? Of course, we're talking about repressive memory of such, meaning you've done something that you shouldn't have done, and then you're just adding better, good stuff on top of that, and eventually time will see its way from that guilt. So that's what I think, without getting too detailed about this. So yeah, so one, immediately do not say nothing. You have to first think about what's cause and effect on losing her, and then cause and effect of leaving it alone, and then building up good, more better relationships with your wife. And again, stop cheating and then move forward from there. Okay. Now, if you feel like you can't stop cheating, which, okay, I see, then instead of telling your wife that you've cheated, your conversation need to be on the other, or the root of the issue, the reason why you're cheating, and that is because of this. You just grown out of her, or without that detailing things there. Okay, so I tell you what, all right, so yeah, so let's leave that for where it is. I think that should help. Now, in context, for anyone else who might be going through or thinking about, I highly suggest you just call me or email me, and so we can talk about it more in detail. Cheating is one of those things that, like I said, there's never a good time to tell a person that information. And depending on the cycle of relationship, or where the relationship is within the cycle, one could make a mistake and then move forward and never do it again, or one could just understandably say, hey, this relationship's not working, we should just separate. Either way, I would be very careful in expressing the cheating aspect. Okay, but that's just what I think. Let me know what you think. Email me or text me, and we'll go from there. All right, so